All right, hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Daniel Smith. I'm going to open by quoting Proverbs where it says, wisdom is the principal thing, and therefore get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. So notice that the author of Proverbs says real wisdom is something that you can understand. It's not a mystery, all right? And I'm going to use that to debunk some of the claims in the New Testament because the New Testament is classified as a so-called mystery religion. You're not allowed to actually know the truth about it. As a matter of fact, Jesus even said so himself that the alleged purpose of parables in the New Testament is to deceive unbelievers and keep them from learning the truth for some reason. Whereas a rational parable is both true and in and of itself, it must be true in and of itself in every word, and whatever concealed truth it is teaching must be true, and you are supposed to tell the person exactly what the parable means. You're not supposed to conceal what a true parable means. The whole purpose of a parable is to teach a hard topic to somebody else. So both your metaphor and a true parable, both the original metaphor must be true in every respect, and your interpretation of the metaphor must be true in every respect. Otherwise, it is not a valid parable and you're a liar. And so Jesus claiming that parables exist to conceal the truth from unbelievers is a lie. And Paul claiming that wisdom somehow was not a virtue is a lie. He condemns the Greeks for trying to prove logic and wisdom in one of his epistles. And then he condemns the Jews for demanding a sign from Jesus and the apostles, who were in fact claiming that Jesus was the Almighty God in the flesh. And the Jews weren't doing anything wrong. According to Deuteronomy 13, if it is a true prophet or dreamer of dreams, he should be able to give you a sign or wonder that is supposed to come to pass word for word in every respect. And it tells you that if the prophet or dreamer of dreams is preaching anything other than the law of God, do not believe the prophet or dreamer of dreams, even if the sign or wonder somehow does come to pass. And then he says, even if the prophet is preaching the same God and the same law and gives a sign or wonder and it does not come to pass, don't believe that prophet either, that he spoke it out of his own mind. So the Jews were not doing anything wrong to demand a real miracle from Jesus, because the stuff he did is provable that it's either a charlatan's trick or that the disciples were lying and it never happened in the first place. And so when the Jews asked him to prove the burden of proof in philosophy and debate, the burden of proof is on the person making the positive affirmation of a claim. He made the positive affirmation of the claim one time of being literally the I am that I am in the flesh. So they had every right to ask him to prove his claim by doing a miracle that not even another true prophet could ever do. And he refused to. He absolutely demanded that you believe him just because he made the claim. And he claimed that if you did not believe him just because he made the claim, that you would go to hell forever. It's in John 3:16 through 19, although nobody ever quotes the rest of the passage. In the next three scriptures, he tells you if you don't believe him just because he made the claim, that he's condemning you to hell forever. Just because he made the claim with no evidence whatsoever. So all of Jesus's alleged miracles can be proven to either be nothing more than a magician's trick that can be done with one or two secret volunteers in the audience, or they're lies that never happened in the first place, because those violate the laws of causality and violate conservation of baryon numbers, such as miracles of multiplication or walking on water, allegedly, or rebuking a tornado and telling it to suddenly go away. The law and prophets says that God's hand is in the whirlwind. So if God sent the tornado, why would Jesus blaspheme God and rebuke the tornado? That makes no sense. Why would the real God honor Jesus rebuking the tornado and make it go away if God made the tornado in the first place? And besides all that, the law and prophets mocks other religions for believing that God sleeps or goes on vacation or uses the toilet or eats and whatnot. And God even said that he was not hungry and wouldn't even tell you if he was. But in the Christian New Testament, Jesus regularly eats, sleeps, apparently uses the toilet, goes on vacation and misses his friend Lazarus' death by 4 days, and then needs another 4 days because they claim that Jesus arrived 4 days late and was still on time in that song. That's not true. He was not even told that Lazarus was dead until 4 days later, and obviously did not know that Lazarus was dead until after he was told. And then it obviously took another 4 days to travel back to find Lazarus' dead body, allegedly, and then allegedly command Lazarus to come back from the dead and come out of the grave. And you can fake that pretty easily with exactly one volunteer, Lazarus himself, who was not dead if he actually came out of the grave. You just tell Lazarus to go to sleep, bring some food and water, and go to sleep in the grave and pretend to be dead for the next 8 days, and I'll come back and fake resurrecting you, and we'll both look like gods and heroes in the flesh. And at best, that's all this miracle is. It is a magician's trick. It is not real. Either it never happened in the first place, or it is flat out a magician's trick. It's easy to fake with exactly one volunteer and some food and water stashed away in the tomb. And he had more than one volunteer. All of the miracles of multiplication in the Bible, including the fake second Elijah supposedly multiplying oil, all miracles of multiplication performed by man in the universe violate conservation of baryon number. Once God made the universe does not violate God's laws ever again. Once he finished making the laws of the universe, even God does not violate his own law. He is a self-consistent being, and he does not violate his own covenant ever, and he does not violate his own laws again ever once he makes a new law. Because technically, he actually lowers himself every time he creates something new. He puts more and more restrictions on himself, and he never violates the laws and covenants and terms and conditions of the new reality that he is creating. All right, even though he is, in fact, almighty. It tells you that in the covenant with Noah, that I will never again kill everything as living as I've done. I will never again curse the ground for man's sake. So, for example, the plague of the firstborn in Exodus, which was clearly written by a totally different author, violates that covenant. It's a lie. And all the crap in the New Testament claiming God's going to destroy the whole universe and whatnot violates that covenant. It's a lie. I will never again violate the seasons. And he lists 8 different definitions of the seasons and said none of those things will ever pass away ever again. And then he says in the next chapter, chapter 9, that this covenant that he's just made with Noah and all humans and all animals, even and the earth and heaven, is forever and will never go away, and that there will be an infinite number of generations of humans and animals on the earth, the same earth, forever in the future, and he will never violate it ever again. So Christianity claiming the end of time is coming, which they never know when it's coming. They claim it's coming in the next day, hundreds and thousands of times since Jesus happened. And it is never coming to pass because it's a violation of God himself. It's a lie. Isaac Newton, who was raised as a Christian but became a deist and rejected Christianity, mocked the Christians from the Bible because they were trying to predict the end of time right then and there in his day. And so he used the Bible the best he could concoct and say, well, the Bible actually claims the end of time is going to be in 2065, because it in fact does. If you read Revelation and Daniel, it seems to be predicting that the end of time is going to be in the year 2065, which is also a lie and also violates the covenant of Noah and the law of Moses. So don't believe in the end of time. In real telescopes, especially the Hubble and the James Webb, they can tell that the real God is not even finished making what he's making, that the universe is expanding at very nearly the speed of light. So the claim that end of time could happen any moment that Christians claim, and that Jesus himself claimed that God was going to come as a thief in the night. Why are you comparing the eternally righteous God to a thief? That is a false parable. You cannot compare the eternally righteous God to someone evil ever. Even so much as suggesting such a thing is a lie and a blasphemy. The claim that God was going to come as a thief in the night is a lie and blasphemy. And violates the covenant. Why would God come back to destroy the earth when he said he was never going to destroy the earth again? All right, that's the end of the video.